All right, so this is going to be a review of Missing. It just came out. It's directed by Nicholas D. Johnson and Will Merrick, and I'll say how I feel about it in a second. So the main character in this, June, played by Storm Reed, she's left home alone, right, and she plans on throwing a party and all this other stuff. Her mother, Grace, played by Nia Long, uh, she's going on a trip to Colombia with her boyfriend. And so June, after the party and all that, her father died and things like that, and Father's Day is coming up, so she's really feeling some ways about that. So she gets really drunk at the party. But she wakes up on the day she has to go pick up her mom and the boyfriend from the airport, and nobody shows up. So now she's doing all kinds of investigating and things like that on her computer, just in her room on her computer, things that she can actually do to figure out what happened to her mom. And the news gets involved, and obviously the feds get involved and things like that. And as more things get revealed, it gets a lot more complicated, and things are revealed about her mother and things like that. This movie is not good. It's not. I was with it early on. There's definitely some positives here, but by the time it got to the ending, I was like, this is bad, right? I can't in good conscience give this a good review. I was going to, from like some things that happened early on that I liked, that we'll get into, but it ultimately didn't work. But let's get to the positives. Um, Neil Long and Storm Reed, really all the performances, but maybe one, we may talk about him, were good, right? Like early on, you don't really get that much time with Neil Long and Storm Reed, but their performances, they helped me get that mother-daughter relationship from it. Like I believed it. I believed that they were mother and daughter, and their relationship and all that. So the performances, for the most part, I thought elevated it because the writing's just not, it's not good. So another thing, the movie is mostly taking place on her computer or on different people's phones and things like that, right? And with that aspect of it, I thought that was well done visually. I thought the movie at least did that well. Like it looked good, even if it gets really outlandish with what she's doing on the computer, which we'll get to. I thought that was well done. The party that she throws is the way that we see the party. It's through different posts that people do on social media or on Snapchat or whatever. And I thought that was creative, right? There's some clever stuff in here, having to deal with, at a certain point with her investigation and certain things, being shown in the news. It shows different like true crime podcasts talking about it, and, capitalizing off the moment and things like that, trying to invite her on their podcast just to capitalize off what's going on, and her not wanting to do it because she's frantically trying to find her mom, right? She doesn't want to be part of that. Like there's some good stuff in here. There's even a point in the mystery where there's a bartender slash actress involved, and something gets revealed with that. And I was like, wow, that was actually good. I didn't even notice anything weird about what was shown earlier, and I thought that was probably the best part of the entire mystery in this movie. That being said, that's pretty much all the positives here. Like starting off, you know, the whole gimmick, which is very much, to make the movie more interesting, with it mostly taking place on her computer or on people's phones. There's certain parts that are clever. That it works for certain things, but automatically there's a suspension of disbelief there because we need to still be able to see the actress. So she always has her face cam on. Always. She walks away from the computer, face cam's on. She's sitting at her computer doing nothing, not even on FaceTime. The face cam is on. It just all the time. It's like nobody does this. No one does this. At a certain point, the lady who comes in to check in on her um, is in the room with her, and she has to close her her browser or whatever. She's looking up how to throw a rager. This is before the party. It's like, okay, first of all, why would she be looking that up? Second of all, the lady's already in the room with her, and then she decides to close the window. Like you already knew she was walking up because there's security cameras everywhere. Of course her house has security cameras too, and in this movie there's always some kind of convenient feed or something for her to look at. um, and you're just now closing it when she's already in the room. Your friend is texting you about like bringing like alcohol or whatever. It's a stretch, logically, with that kind of stuff, but especially with the investigation she's doing. I mean, she's able to get locations. She's able to, pay this dude, even though she has a limited amount of money that was just for emergencies. She's able to, and she already used a lot of it on alcohol. She's able to pay this dude to go around to all these places and ask questions. Somehow that dude is able to get a receipt from something the boyfriend of her mom paid for, right? She's able to, I mean, she's doing so much shit with this. I mean, she's guessing. You would think she was Mr. Robot hacking into things. Really, she's just conveniently guessing people's bad passwords and just going through their email and things like that. Somehow, I don't remember how she's able to get into her mom's dating profile and look at all the different messages between her and her boyfriend, even from before they even really met or started talking. Like their entire interaction was like it's it's a lot. I don't remember how she got into it. The movie keeps it moves pretty fast, especially when she's like looking up things, and I guess you could say that's to make it more exciting or ramp up the tension, which it for the most part does. But it's also so that you miss. I feel like it's also so you miss just how outlandish it is, because at certain points she finds things, locations, different things, different feeds of different places, um, and she does it so quickly that I missed how she was able to come to that conclusion. Like she just, she's a whiz, man. Like Batman has wasted his money and resources because all you need apparently is a Windows computer and an internet connection. And she might as well be Oracle from Batman, right? When Batgirl becomes his like girl in a chair pretty much after she gets shot. Like it's on that kind of level where it's like, come on, this is ridiculous. Like we don't need Sherlock Holmes, Benoit Blanc, Hercule Poirot, Batman. We don't need Scooby Doo even. All you need is a fucking you just grab some random 18-year-old girl on a computer can just get all this information. It's ridiculous. And there's always that moment of her realizing, oh, all I need to do is put in this particular thing. It's like, she's able to find all these secret conversations and things like that. It's just it's really outlandish and ridiculous at a certain point. But that has nothing on the third act of this movie. The third act reveal, and there's a confrontation at the end and all that. It's really over the top. It's really convoluted. It's to the point where how the fuck did she keep all this from June? I don't know, right? I don't know how you keep something like this hidden like this from your daughter, like your grown daughter. I don't know, but it felt so it just felt poorly written, and like, hey, we're here, we got this. Somebody's doing something very obviously illegal, but they conveniently have cameras covering every bit of it. I mean there's cameras all over the place. It's like, bro, like what, this is so that we can see what's going on because she's obviously not on her computer anymore. But like this is too much. I mean, there's a lot to go with. I could have maybe got away with maybe saying the movie was still kind of fine if it wasn't for that ending, because it is fucking ridiculous. It feels weak. It doesn't feel like a satisfying conclusion for everything that's happened up to this point, and it is just bad. And the guy that's doing his the guy that turns out to be the villain or whatever at the end, his performance is also really bad, over the top, and just the worst, easily the worst performance in the movie. The only one that I would say is actually bad. And by the end of it, I was rolling my eyes and I was like, it's time for this to be over with. And it feels way too easy too, by the way, when it's all said and done. But anyway, that's about it. There's some clever points, like I said, with the party and things like that, but it just gets so outlandish and like unrealistic and convenient. Conveniently, you're able to get this information and this information and this information, and then by the end of it, it's already a weak reveal, but the ending is atrocious with the performance of the person that turns out to be behind all this, and everything just kind of feels a little too easy by the time everything's all said and done, and it just doesn't work, man. There's certain clever points, I will be honest. There's certain things that I liked, but by the end of it, I was like, this is bad, right? I'm not gonna trash it. I'll still give it a rental, but it didn't work. It didn't work. So that's it. That's missing. I'm giving it a rental, and it's just barely getting that because of how bad that ending was. I mean, the ending is just that bad to where even if it was firing on all cylinders up to that point, you can't tell me this is a good movie based on that ending. I mean, you cannot tell me that ending was good. But anyway, yeah, that's missing. Subscribe, and we're done.